I just thought kind of to put a bow on this Ravens defense, if you don't mind, Sarah.
Sure.
Um, Kyle Van Noy is having a career year. He's got over 11 sacks, I think 11 and a half to be
11 and a half.
exact. And this is at 33. He continues to sip from the fountain of youth and give the Ravens a presence on the edge. He also holds on to his receipts. And as he tweeted out earlier today, lots of things have been said over the past year/season. Defense stinks, no pass rush. Mark and other players are washed, meaning Andrews, blah, blah, blah. Even starting 0-2 doesn't matter. Gerald McCoy and myself told everybody, keep the faith in the team. We stuck together, and we will keep climbing together. Can't wait till next week. We are one game away from being Kings of the North and getting a home playoff game. Can't wait for McCoy and Van Noy. Next episode, LFG. And I believe, if not already, he's scheduled to be on the McAfee show today, Sarah. And I would expect him to probably expand on these words come that time.
I'm sure he will. I'm sure they'll flash these up on the screen and give him a platform, and then he can say it with his chest out because it's all true with, the receipts that they've had and the fact that they have stuck together and not like it is crazy how they stick together. And I think that Deontay Johnson video on the offensive side where he's, hugging everybody after the game of the offensive players, like there is no penetrating this like locker room and the brotherhood that they have going on. Like you're not going to divide them. It's just not going to happen with where that defense has been. And the fact that they never threw each other under the bus. And the same thing with Deontay Johnson when he didn't go in, the way like the players, there obviously is a brotherhood going on right now that the bond is as strong as oak. And I love to see it.
Now, with that, it's finally time to start talking some offense. We're 40 minutes in. Both Trossett brothers are lighting up the live chat right now. Sarah, don't even go look. They're just trying to get everybody going. Have you already looked?
Yeah.
They're lighting up the live chat. That's what they're doing.
That's what
Time
they're
to
doing.
talk offense.
All right. So, as we know, Lamar Jackson made history. I have been on host soapboxes in the past that I want to see the Ravens fan base celebrate more when Lamar Jackson hits milestones with his legs, because I refuse to be shamed into not appreciating the gift that Lamar Jackson has that no other NFL quarterback has now or has ever had. And Michael Vick is right there with it in terms of the talent. But Lamar Jackson, as we know, is now the greatest running quarterback of all time by putting up 6,110 career rushing yards, and he did it in way fewer games. Look at who congratulated him when that happened. I was going to say Bobby, but yes, Bobby Petrino. Congratulations, Lamar. You continue to show them why you're the GOAT and MVP. And as I've mentioned, he also is number 2 right now in single season passer rating at 121.6. And as you mentioned yesterday, Bobby, he needs a 138.6 to become number 1 all time. So we are witnessing history, and we should celebrate it. Lamar Jackson, on the other hand, let's go inside to his on-field reaction to when he was told that he rewrote history, and his mind is not on that at all during the game.
You broke the record, right?
Yeah, they just told me. Scott just told me. Appreciate that, coach. Appreciate you, man. Yes, sir. Appreciate that.
You young. You about to make it unreachable.
He has 6,110 career rushing yards right now. Keep it going, bro. You're special, bro.
Appreciate you, bro.
Keep it going.
Yes, sir. I got you.
Literally, Sarah, T. Martin is so right. He could make this record unreachable. He's in his 7th season. What if he goes for 20? What if he goes for another 10 years?
He's only 28 years old.
Yeah.
Yes, he could.
Or soon to be, right? Soon to be. He's not even 28 yet. He'll be 28 next month.
Is he 27 right now?
Yeah.
That's bananas.
Yep.
I gave him an extra year. Yeah. I mean, he's broken the record in way fewer games, and he is going to extend it. And so he comes off to the side of the field, and John Harbaugh's head coach is like, hey, you broke the record, right? He's like, oh, yeah, so-and-so told me. Like as if, hey Bobby, did you know that your mom was just in the background? Like, not big of it. Like, yeah, I saw her. Like, no, dude, you just rewrote history books. And his low-key response is exactly what we anticipate from Lamar Jackson, because we know his priorities, which is the team first, which is the Super Bowl first. So not that surprising that he downplayed that. Meanwhile, Bobby, as we know, on his way to setting that new record, he had that 48-yard rushing touchdown. Okay. The NFL Next Gen Stats clocked him at 21.25 miles per hour. It's pretty fast. Fastest he's ever run before. Look at all these. Look at all these going all the way back to 2019. I would say not only has he not lost his step, but I think going back to his original 2019 weight is making him speedy once again. And then the reporters after the game wanted to tell him how fast it was, that it was 21.25 miles per hour. Here is Lamar Jackson's reaction to that.
As far as miles per hour, that was your fastest run in the NFL of your career. Did it feel that way?
I was jogging. I was straight. I didn't have to do anything. Well, I mean, what was it?
21 point something miles per hour. That's what they told me. I didn't clock it, but that's what they told me.
That's crazy. It's cool.
It's light work. That's light work for him.
That's the thing, is it's like rushing record, just another day in Lamar Jackson's life. Going up to 21 point whatever miles per hour, just another day in Lamar Jackson's life. Just jogging. And let's just relive it, because Baldy, another golden breakdown of how he's toying with the defensive back who's trying to catch him, and Lamar literally was jogging there at the end.
Take a look at this touchdown run in the top of the third quarter. You got Andrews and Likely leading the way, and Lamar never really put it in the top gear. He said he didn't have to. He's just kind of jogging. It was like the Pompano jog right here. Running like this is not normal. You just don't run by NFL defenses like this. Literally, he's checking his rearview mirror here. It's not even necessary. 48 yards at the top of the third quarter put this game on ice. I mean, what he just did in this, like, here he comes right into your living room right now. And he said he didn't hit top gear. He was jogging. And, like, they're running as hard as they can, and nobody can catch him. Like, look at him. He's just looking at him, playing with him. This doesn't happen in the NFL. Lamar Jackson is just different. He's just walking.
He's just walking. It happens when he's on the football field, Sarah. And as James Jones said yesterday on the facility, whenever they evaluate a game, who is the best player on the football field? Who looks as if he's on a different planet? 8.
And in a lot of ways, Bobby, that is exactly how he won it last year, and it's how he put himself back in the conversation. Everybody keeps like arguing about like stats and this and that, and they're like, well, if stats didn't do it last year, why are we going to do it this year? Like, stats underscore what he's doing this time around. But the fact of the matter is that Josh Allen was becoming the favorite because of moments he had on national TV against the Chiefs and against the Rams and against the Lions. And then when Lamar had his chance on national TV and even worldwide TV on Netflix, that's when he got back in the conversation. So he's really winning it the same way, because he wasn't the leader until he went on and showed that once again, he is the best football player on the field. And the stats and whatever else anybody else is doing, when your eyes watch him, all you can see is that he's the best player in the world. So, but I want to keep on this reaction to him setting the record of rush yards, Bobby. I thought Ryan Clark put into perspective the history upon which Lamar Jackson is standing, the shoulders upon which Lamar Jackson is standing, and his shoulders and what it could bear up in the future. I thought he put it in pretty good perspective this morning on First Take.
To add one thing, because I know we changed the question, and I wanted to say something about this. And I want to say it to you, and I want to say it to Randall Cunningham, and I want to say it to Russell Wilson, and I want to say it to Michael Vick. This is the evolution of the position.
Yeah.
Without Randall Cunningham having to try to conform and be a pocket passer and also show his athleticism, we don't get to Michael Vick. And without Michael Vick accepting that and working to become a better passer, working to become a better leader, we don't get a Cam Newton. And if Cam Newton doesn't bring the style of play that he had the opportunity to bring from Auburn to the NFL and win an MVP doing it, we don't have a Lamar Jackson.
Correct.
See, we've needed at that position, because of all the negativity surrounding whether or not people like you can play it, we needed each of you to get to this point.
Yes.
And that's why we need Lamar Jackson to take that next step and hold that Lombardi trophy the same way we all cried when Doug Williams did it in the 80s.
Yes.
Shout out to Doug.
Preach.
Wow. That's
That was
incredibly
cool.
well said. I hadn't heard that one yet. You clipped that for us today. That's extremely well said.
And it was cool for him to say it with Cam Newton sitting right there.
Well, you
right?
can tell
Because
Cam was locked in.
Cam was
on what he
locked
saying.
in. Cam is part of that chain, right? The chain of the quarterbacks and how it's evolved and how it's gotten to the place where Lamar can be the next. And then Lamar has even, it's interesting because in that same segment, when they showed the rushing yards and had Michael Vick at number 2, Cam Newton was talking about, man, if Michael Vick was given quarterback designed runs the way the Ravens have done with Lamar, like Michael Vick for sure would have more numbers, right? Like the vast majority of his rushing yards came from scrambles and broken down plays. I don't know what percentage of Lamar's is. I would love to know what percentage of his rushing yards is from designed runs and how much is from scrambles. But it was just cool for them to talk about that evolution. And then so the next step of the evolution, RC kind of hinted at the very end with being a Super Bowl, but Ellie Duncan took it a little bit further and expanded of what Lamar can do for future quarterbacks.
I don't know if anyone's ever going to break Lamar's record. He's 28 freaking years old. We keep forgetting he's 28 years old.
Yeah.
He could have another decade under his belt. Right now, the closest person to him, over 6,100 rushing yards, you said, for Lamar, is Josh Allen with 4,100. But the reason that I love this so much and that it was Mike Vick's record that he broke is because apart from someone like you, Cam, like, I think he is the closest that we've seen to Mike Vick. And also being an Atlanta person, you knew that everything that dogged Mike Vick, despite the escapability, despite the unparalleled athleticism, despite the fact he could throw 60-yard bombs on a dime, was the question of whether that was still the formula or the blueprint for a championship. Will it translate to a championship winning type of quarterback? And to me, that is why, while I personally think Lamar Jackson should be the MVP because I think that he has proven himself to be that, it doesn't matter. Because what Lamar has got to do for all the Mike Vicks of the world is win that championship so that we can finally put that tired, exhaustive narrative to bed.
I love that end. We can finally, if Lamar were to, and I think this is why you see so many people like an Ocho Cinco yesterday, like pulling for him because it's for Lamar for sure. You want to see Lamar do it. He's such a likable guy. He's so just lovable and he works so hard and he is sensational and he's all of that. But it's also what it means. Like put it to bed that a running quarterback, a true dual threat quarterback can indeed win the Super Bowl. Put the narrative to rest. And if he were to win it all, he could put the exclamation point on that. And then guys like Cam Newton and Michael Vick and everybody else that have been in this succession of the shoulders that Lamar is standing on, it's like it's a Super Bowl win for all of them in that sense.
I know the king along the MVP line certainly is on his side and doing everything he can, as he did post game on Wednesday, to talk up not only his greatness, but his MVP candidacy. And he was quoted for saying he deserves it. He's been doing this for a long time, and it's only right for him to get a third one. The stats prove it. And speaking of stats, you started to compile them.
Yeah. So this morning I had put out, the graphic that we showed before of the passer rating and the rushing record. And I said it'd be a shame if he didn't get an MVP when he's making history like this. And of course, a Bills fan was like, well, you can't do it based off of like a career record. You have to do it on this season. And that is very true. So I just wanted to point out, here are the historic numbers after week 18 that he could get. Bobby, with 45 passing yards, Lamar will hit 4,000. He will definitely go over that. Okay. 4,000 with 148 rushing yards. He'll hit 1,000. That one seems a little bit more of a stretch, but remember, he's already over 800. And no player has ever had 800 plus rushing yards and 4,000 plus passing yards in the same season. So however much he finishes over 800, he's already 800 plus 4,000. He's already set a new record. He needs 1 passing touchdown for 40 total passing touchdowns. He needs 1 rushing touchdown for 5. He needs less than 2 interceptions to keep it under 5. And then that 138.6 quarterback rating to be 122.6, which would be the single season best passer rating in NFL history. So, I mean, when Derrick Henry says the stats prove it, when we say they would be a shame not to give an MVP to commemorate this year, I mean it. These are historic numbers.